Trump is ushering in a new era in American history. Previously, Ronald Reagan shifted the ideology of the United States from New Deal governing to trickle-down economics. In other words, moving from strong state support towards deregulation and strengthening the private sector, instead making it to where private individuals would reign over in industries such as education, corrections, or healthcare. The Trump administration is furthering this by eliminating governmental services and instead putting them on the market. This is not a new tale, but where oligarchs would work behind the shadows in the days of before, they are now operating out in the open, gallivanting as if they are bringing freedom to anybody but themselves. Elon Musk is allowing programs that millions depend on to be managed by the hands of unelected aristocrats. The Department of Energy, Veterans Affairs, Education, or the Food Drug Administration, National Institute of Health, Center for Disease Control, Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, and a myriad of other services are in the works to be reduced, eliminated, or privatized, thus strengthening the private sector beyond the state's control. While this is even more extreme than Reaganomics, this is still something that we've seen in history. 1991, USSR. This ties in deeply with the Soviet Union. I know it may seem strange, but as a historian there are parallels into the downfall of both nations. While the USA and the USSR are multi-ethnic, the Soviet Union saw a rise in counter-nationalism that could no longer be suppressed. The Soviet Union's dissolvement can be described as a movement to prevent the type of conflict that would later ensue in Yugoslavia. Tensions from Serbians attempting to proclaim control over the other ethnic groups led to the nation being dissipated by war. While this in of itself could lead to a whole other discussion, the nature of this video is to still examine the tragedy that befell the post-Soviet world. Economic shock therapy is the rapid privatization of institutions. While the West proclaims this as a bastion of freedom being bestowed upon planned economies, it is in reality a measure to establish a rigged market in favor of Western business. Major institutions and resources are consolidated in the hands of a few private individuals, and they are able to strike enriching deals with one another, of course, at the expense of the citizens. The 1990s were Great Depression levels of economic freefall, as many people became bucked from their job, healthcare, and national identity. As a result of food insecurity, crime, infrastructure decay, and healthcare deterioration, millions of excess fatalities can be attributed to this time, all due to the reorganization of society that looted the state and immensely widened wealth disparity. To put it more aptly, the Soviet Union was sold. The United States is no stranger to social murder, as even in the land of the wealthy, many still succumb to hunger, untreated sickness, and unchecked violence. But what I never anticipated was the United States selling itself. America's governmental institutions are being rapidly sold off to benefit the select few, and funds will be diverted to the pockets of the wealthy instead of being fully applied to the people. The United States will shoot itself, just as it did to its enemy. This is a trend growing across the world, and Javier Milei's regime in Argentina serves as an example for what lies ahead. As the governmental apparatus becomes dismantled, the social safety net dwindles and snaps, currently leaving half of Argentina's population in poverty. Those in favor and close to the private sector will be protected, but a deep, unrelenting divide is coming. This is only the beginning. One day, they will privatize all of your infrastructure, schools, and social security. The people of the West will experience the ravaging of economic shock therapy and understand the pain of their Eastern counterparts. You will be nickel and dimed until you have nothing.